So today we're going to be looking at 6-6. We are going to be solving equations that have fractions in them. So a rational equation looks something like this. This is a simplistic example of where you have one or more fractions within the equation. So we're going to use the least common multiple or the least common denominator to get rid of all of these denominators and then solve the fraction. So your procedures are all over here, and you're going to clear the fractions by first multiplying both sides of the equation by your LCD. So that's going to be important right there. And then once you do that, you should have no fractions left in the problem, and so then you'll collect like terms, move things from the right to the left, isolate the variable, get 0 on one side, and solve using all of the skills that you have developed up to this point. Now, it is important that you realize that when you multiply each side of an equation by an algebraic expression, so in other words, if you multiply both sides by an x, it is possible that you can introduce what's called an extraneous solution, meaning a solution that's not going to work, mostly because your new equation does not know or realize that it came from an equation with a fraction. So not only do you have to check for extraneous solutions, you're also going to have to check for answers that become restrictions as well. So let's look at a few examples. So let's start with example 1. And the first thing you need to do is find your LCM. So based upon what we did in the last lesson, my assumption is going to be that you know how to find the LCM. So if you have trouble with that, go back and review lesson 6-5. So the LCM, or the LCD, I guess I'll use LCD, be consistent. They're both one and the same. So your LCD in this case is going to be 20. So I'm going to multiply every term by 20. And everything should cancel into this 20. So in other words, this 5 should cancel into 20 and disappear. This 4 should cancel into the 20 and disappear. And they certainly do. So 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 20 4 times. That's going to leave me with 4 times the numerator of x minus 2. And then the 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 divides into 20 5 times. But remember, there's a minus here, so that negative is going to get attached to the 5. So you're going to have a minus 5 times the numerator, x minus 5. And then equals negative 2 times 20, which is negative 40. And so then I'm going to distribute all the way through. And so I get 4x, minus 8 minus 5x plus 25 is equal to negative 40. Then I'm going to collect like terms. So 4x and negative 5x gives me a negative x. And then negative 8 and positive 25 are going to give me positive 15 equals negative 40. Oops, it's not 15, it's 17. I knew something looked funny. That's what I get for being in a hurry. 17. All right, so then I am going to subtract 17. And I get negative x is equal to negative 57. Divide by negative 1, and I will get positive 57. So one thing you want to look at are restrictions. Well, there are no restrictions on the denominator because there's no variable in the denominator. And then you want to plug this in up here and check it to make sure that 57 minus 2 is 55, divided by 5 is 11. 57 minus 5 is 52. 52 divided by 4 is 13. And 11 minus 13 is indeed negative 2. So there are no extraneous solutions for this one. Look at B. So for B, It's a little bit of a different example. You do have a fraction equaling a fraction, so theoretically you could cross multiply to break up the fractions, but notice that they both have the same denominator. So in theory, you could just set the numerators equal to each other because that's what's going to make the fractions equal. If their numerators are equal and their denominators are equal, then the fractions are going to be equal. Or you could look at it as thinking, okay, the least common denominator is x plus 2 because that's what they both have. And then if you multiply both equations by x plus 2, notice that the x plus 2's cancel anyway. And you are left with x minus 1 is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3. So you end up setting the numerators equal to each other anyway. Then from here, you have to get one side equal to 0. You cannot factor this side and then divide both sides by x minus 1 and get a solution because you will lose a solution. So my highest degree term is x squared, so I'm going to move everything to the side where that highest degree term is. So I end up with 0 equaling x squared plus x minus 2. And then you're going to use all of your factoring skills that we've been working on all year. And so the factors of 2 that subtract to give you 1 would be 2 and 1. And this is going to have to be a plus, and that will be a minus. And then you set each of these equal to 0. And you get x is equal to negative 2 and positive 1. And then you have to go back and check, can x be negative 2? No. So we are going to throw out the negative 2 and check our 1. So our 1 is not one of the restrictions, so you want to make sure you put 1 in and check it. So 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 over anything is going to be 0. So this side is 0. 1 squared is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 over anything is 0, so it checks. So that means that x can only be 1. All right, so let's look at example 2 and 3. So for example 2, we only have one fraction right here. So this is going to be our LCD. So you still have to multiply every term by the LCD, not just the ones that are fractions. So I end up with x squared, and then these x's are going to cancel, so I have minus 12 equals x. I want to move everything over to the side where my highest degree term is. So I get x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. We'll want to factor this. So the factors of 12 that subtract to give you 1 would be minus 4 and positive 3. So when you set x minus 4 equal to 0 and x plus 3 equal to 0, you get x is equal to 4 and negative 3. So then we have to check. Our only restriction is that x cannot be 0. So neither one of these are 0. So then you want to check them in the original. So I have a 4 here. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So that one checks. Use your negative 3. Negative 3 here. A negative 12 divided by a negative 3 is a positive 4. So a negative 3 and a positive 4 is still positive 1. So both of these end up being my solution. So then I want you to pause the video and I want you to try B on your own and then check your answer. So just like A, our LCD is going to be x. Multiply every term by the x. And so I get x squared. These x's cancel and I get plus 6x. Whoops, no 6x. Try that again, just 6. Equals 5x. Get one side equal to 0, so I'm going to subtract 5x. So I get x squared minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. So then we're going to factor. So the factors of 6 that add to give me 5 are 2 and 3. So you have to be careful because 1 and 6 subtract to give you 5, but we want it to add to give us 5. So you must use 2 and 3. And both of the signs will be negative. So then x minus 2 equals 0, and x minus 3 equals 0, giving us 2 and 3 for our answers. So your restrictions for x would be x cannot be 0, so those are safe. And then we're going to test 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5, so that works. Then test 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. So they both work. All right, let's look at example 3. So example 3 is a smidge more complicated. You have two different factors here because these are the same. So you have an x plus 1 and x plus 4. So your LCD is going to be x plus 1, x plus 4. All right, so I'm going to multiply every term by that LCD. Okay, and so then I am going to cancel the things I can cancel. So I get an x plus 1 cancels here. So we end up with an x times x plus 4. Then for the next one, the x plus 4's cancel. So you end up with a 3 times x plus 1. And then here the x plus 4's cancel. So you end up with an x plus 3 times an x plus 1. So then you're going to distribute the x into here. So you get x squared plus 4x. Distribute your 3 into here, and you get 3x plus 3 equals. And then you are going to FOIL here. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is x. 3 times x is 3x. And last but not least, 3 times 1 is 3. And then you want to collect like terms. So these are like terms here. So you get x squared plus 7x plus 3 equals, and these are like terms here. So you get x squared plus 4x plus 3. Then you want to try to collect your highest degree terms. So my highest degree terms are x squared. So fortunately, they both cancel out, and you're left with 7x plus 3 equals 4x plus 3. So then you want to collect your next highest degree, which is your x's. So I'm going to subtract a 4x, and that means I'm going to want to subtract a 3, which, oddly enough, all of your constants cancel out too. So all we have left on the left is a 3x. Nothing is left on the right, so that has a value of 0. Then you're going to divide by 3, and you get x is equal to 0. So the only restrictions on x would be -1 or -4. So this is not -1 or -4. So then you want to check it. So when you check it, you're going to put x back in up here. So 0 over anything is 0. Then put it in here, so you got 3/4. So 0 plus 3/4 is 3/4. Put your zeros in here and you get 3/4. So 3/4 does equal 3/4. All right, let's go to example 4. So this is the last example that we are going to do. And it really doesn't get any more complicated than this, to be honest. So we're going to factor. I highly suggest you factor all of your denominators first. So this one factors as, this one right here factors as x plus 3, x minus 3. And so those are two different factors, and these are also x plus 3, x minus 3. So your LCD is going to equal x plus 3, x minus 3. So let's multiply everything by the LCD. Okay, so then cancel what will cancel. So all of these are going to cancel with all of these, and all you're left with is the 2. Then the x minus 3 cancels with x minus 3, so you have a plus 5 times x plus 3 equals x plus 3 cancels with x plus 3, and you have 3 times x minus 3. Then distribute. So you end up with 2 plus 5x plus 15 equals, distribute, 3x minus 9. Collect like terms. You get 5x plus 17 equals 3x minus 9. Move your 3x, and you get 2x plus 17 equals negative 9. Move your 17, and you get 2x is equal to negative 26. Divide by 2, and you get negative 13. Excuse me. All right, so your only restrictions are positive and negative 3, and that's not it. And then you need to take this and plug it into each x. I'm just going to tell you now it works, but I'm not going to take time on the video to show this particular one. All right, that's it. Good luck on your homework. If you have any questions, give me a holler.